Hello everyone, in this video I'll be ranking the Lies of P bosses on a tier list from best to worst. So, first things first, we got the Parade Master, who is the tutorial boss, but I think that the boss is really well done for teaching the timing of blocking and parrying in this game, so I'm going to put him in the A tier. He's not too challenging, no, but I think it does a great job introducing the mechanics necessary to be used in Lies of P, and he's a cool theme. You can get his head too if you have the deluxe version, which I think is pretty fun. Next we have the Mad Donkey, which I'm going to put in the C tier. He's not a challenge. He's pretty easy. You can backstab him really easily. I found the Mad Donkey was really not a challenge whatsoever, especially after the Parade Master and then what comes next. I'll do the Scrap Watchman next, who I think is also an A tier boss. Very challenging, and he does electric damage, which does more damage towards puppets, which is what we are. So he'll do more damage to our character. Great. He's challenging, but again, it's another one that teaches you the mechanics of the game. And he has some grab attacks that are kind of annoying, which could put him in the B tier, but I'm going to leave him in the A tier because these two bosses are very memorable from the early game. Next, we have the Puppet of the Future. And I'm not a huge fan of these. They're not hard to fight. I'm going to put it in the D tier. They roll around with their ball fist things, and it's just kind of an annoyance to fight. There's one early on near, in the Venigni Works, near the King's Flame Fuoco boss. Not too challenging, but yeah. There's two more later on in the swamp, so they're okay. Next, we have the Survivor. I found this to be better than Mad Donkey. He was challenging my first time around. You're in a small room, and there's a table there that you can kind of use to bounce around. You can see the table in this image, actually. Very challenging boss, though. I found this to be one of the more tricky humanoid fights in the game. I don't know why, but I like the Survivor fight. You get a cool mouse mask from him. And yeah, fun fight overall. Next, we got King's Flame Fuoco. I think this boss needs to be fixed a little bit. He's got some attacks that are incredibly damaging. He knocks you down. He's got fast running speed. When he gets to half, he does a full floor is lava move that's kind of annoying, where you can dodge it if you run away, but it's annoying. And then if he's far away from you, he'll shoot you with the cannon. I think this boss could have been handled better. It gave a lot of people I've been watching play the game trouble too, so it's not just me. I even was watching Penguin Zero play this game, and he struggled with this boss too, so it's a tough one. It just didn't have great mechanics at the start. Same thing with the Fallen Archbishop Andreas, which I'll put actually in the B tier. On my first playthrough, I would have put it in the D tier. It was a rough boss. It had way too much health, but after playing this again on latest patches, he has much less health, and he's not so much a danger as he was before. The second phase, you can run around to his backside and basically do the first phase over again, which is kind of fun. I thought that was pretty cool, so I'll put him in the B tier. Next, we have the Atoned. What can I say? Not that much fun. It's another humanoid fight, but it's not really one that has much relevance to the story, so it just feels like you're just, I don't know. It's not that much of fun of a fight. So we next have the Eldest of the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. I think the Black Rabbit Brotherhood fights were pretty fun, so I'll put it in the B tier. Playing against 4 enemies is always challenging, but you only have to beat one of them in this fight, so use everything you got on the eldest brother, and you can kind of just dodge the other ones, and they usually will only attack you at once, so it makes it easy to kind of avoid. Next, we have the White Lady, and this is going to surprise some people, but I'm putting this in the S tier. I found this fight to be really beautiful. It has really nice music playing in the background. You're in the stage. The setting is nice. The music is beautiful. That French song, you can go check that one out. Lies of P YouTube has it posted. It is a beautiful song, though, and it really just set the stage for this fight. Another cool thing is Angelina, which she mentions in the game, is later on inside the King of the Puppets area. You can give her an apple. It's her sister, so I thought the lore was pretty cool there, and she even mentions her when you first meet the White Lady, so I think that's an S tier boss. Next, we have the King of Puppets, Romeo. I think this is another S tier boss fight. Between the two phases that are wildly different, you have the big brute King of Puppets, and then you have Romeo, who's much faster. I really like this boss fight. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed myself with this one, so I'm putting that in the S tier. Next, we have the Mad Clown Puppet, which is just an okay boss. It has that fist attack that like stretches out Go-Go Gadget arm style, or Luffy's Gum Gum Cannon type attack. Really, it's just an annoying boss. Clowns are kind of freaky, so if you don't like clowns, screw this boss. Next, we have Champion Victor, and I've come around on this boss. I'm going to put him in the A tier. I used to hate him because he just felt boring to me, but he's a brawler, bruiser type fighter. I can appreciate that. He's not the most fun boss fight in the game, but he's an alright one in my books. Next, we have the Puppet of the Future ×2. These go in the D tier. They're not that fun. This isn't really even a boss fight. There's two big elite enemies. Next we have the Green Monster of the Swamp. I'm going to put this in the A tier as well. Some people really dislike this boss. It's challenging because he's so aggressive and it has 2 phases. But if you use fire damage and electricity damage, you can get this one down pretty easily. So as long as you come into it with a good plan, you can take this boss out. I do have some I have videos on how to take down any of these bosses if you're struggling, so feel free to go watch those. Owl Doctor is another boss that's just like the Atone. It just felt out of place. It's in the swamp. Not that fun, to be honest. So yeah, D tier. Corrupted Parade Master. This is a pretty fun fight. It's just adding a little bit to the Parade Master. It has some gross looking attacks that I just really don't like, so I'm not going to put it as high as a Parade Master. Robber Weasel, another boring human fight. There's only a few human fights that are fun. White Lady being one of them due to the overall story implications and just the music and setting alone. Walker of Illusions is another forgettable one, like the Mad Clown Puppet. We see him later on in the game. It looks okay, but it's weird. You can even just run into the elevator and bypass this boss altogether. Black Rabbit Brotherhood Round 2. You have to fight all 4 of them this time, and they have electricity damage, fire damage, acid damage, so they become a bit more challenging to deal with. They're frustrating, but they're not too bad, so I'm going to put that into the B tier. Next, we have the Door Guardian. I'm putting this D tier. I hate this boss. This is one boss that I never had a good attempt at. It's just so challenging because it does electric shock damage, which can reduce your endurance, and I'm someone that relies heavily on endurance, so I found this boss to be quite a challenge. You have to play pretty perfectly, and you might need a few extra levels to be able to beat this boss. He's just an absolute pain in the butt. So yeah, D tier. Next we have Black Cat, which is an okay boss fight. I'll put it in the B tier. And then I'll put also the Red Fox around there. They're okay fights for the humanoid type fights. They're the 2 that I enjoyed the most, alongside, I guess, Survivor. These 3 were the best. White Lady being the ultimate humanoid boss fight, but these weren't too bad. You can also bypass them by giving them a gold coin fruit. So yeah, they're okay. Next we have Lax Ages the Complete. This is the Millennia of Eliza P. Millennia coming from Elden Ring, one of the most challenging bosses. It's aggressive, it can heal itself, it has electricity damage that does extra damage to our character. 2 difficult phases, and in the second phase it flies up in the air. This boss is pretty much Millennia. It's a challenge. Very difficult, but it is doable, and I think the feeling you get after beating this boss is just, it's next level because it's just so hard. I think Lax Ages is one of my favorites in this game. Simon Manus, they did nerf him, so I think I'll put him in the A tier after being nerfed. He was really challenging before because he had so much health, like an incredible amount of health, that it was just not that fun. But after beating him on New Game Plus Plus, I got a new appreciation for him with his better timed attacks now after the latest patch. And finally, Nameless Puppet. I'm putting him in the S tier. Very challenging fight. Another one that's kind of like similar to Laxasia, where it's very tough to beat, but you get that sense of accomplishment after beating him. I would recommend using the Perfect Parry Grindstone and lots of throwables if you're challenged by the Nameless Puppet, but he can be taken out pretty easily. I do have a guide on that if you want to check it out. It's my most viewed video at the moment, so yeah, Nameless Puppet can be easily taken down. Same with Laxasia if you know the right techniques, but there it is, my Liza P. This is updated with the latest patch. I played through the game 3 times, so now I have a pretty good, comfortable feel for the bosses, and this is where I think that they sit on a tier list from best to worst. So thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you in the next video.